Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our first meeting of the semester. We've got a lot planned for you. Not just for today, but for the entire semester. We do have some exciting plans. But this chat isn't available for more than 25 users. Truly a moment. Yeah, wow. We've got 31 people in here at least. Cool. Very cool. I'll go ahead and switch to presenter view and all right, yeah. So I guess we'll get started. I don't think too many more people are joining at this point. So without further ado, welcome to GDA. We'll talk a little bit about who we are first, in case there's a lot of familiar faces here, but some of us are new. My name is Michael. I'm the president of this club. I've been with the Game Developers Association for quite a while. I hopped into this Discord before I came to UF about a year and a half ago. This is my fourth semester at UF that I'm starting right now, and I became social chair because there was a vacancy, and the club back then was only around 100 people, and helped grow it a bit to 150 or so. Then some of the other people here will talk about how they joined. Club grew to 300 people. Now we're almost at 600 people, so it's definitely grown a lot in the span of a couple of short semesters. But yeah,
that's an impressive repertoire, Michael. What's your major?
I'm a CS student, Nathan. I'm a CS major, but I just finished. I'm almost done with my business minor. I got one class left there, and I'm starting some aerospace because I do love my Kerbal Space program. And I'm pretty sure every aerospace major has played Kerbal Space Program. I think that's just kind of
a rite of passage, really.
It certainly is.
All right, I'm Nathan. I am the vice president, or as I like to go by, the vibes president. I am also a computer science major, but I'm minoring in linguistics. So if you speak a language that's not English and know how to say squirrel in that language, please send me a DM with how to say it. I'm gathering a list. That being said, I'm also a sophomore, and I'm excited to be working with you all this semester.
Alright, so I guess that's me next. I'm Tony. It says Tonebone on there because I referred to myself as Tonebone in an announcement a while ago, and I guess the nickname just stuck. This was written without my consent, so we're just going with it. I'm a sophomore marketing student. I'm minoring in digital arts and sciences, so those are my accreditations for being here. Been in the club for about a year. I joined and I had absolutely no experience in game dev, so I started at the bottom and I'm here doing some research and some legality things for some exciting future prospects that the club has business wise. That's all I'll say about that.
Unfortunately, Hannah is not with us.
Hopefully she's all right.
Still alive. Yeah, I hope she's still alive.
Yeah.
But she's not in the call. She is our marketing outreach team member. She was our social chair for all of the past semester and over summer. But since our club's grown so much, as Michael said, we've had to expand the marketing team to include 2 new members.
Oh, did we just lose Nathan? Is that just me?
Still alive.
2, Nathan? Oh, Nathan's back.
I also lost Nathan.
Lost you for a second, Nathan.
Dang, you guys missed my beautiful transition into introducing Diana and Morgan.
Oops.
Oh well, I'll just go from here then. Hi, I'm Diana. I'm joining the club as the videographer, which means I'm the one recording you guys right now. I am a junior digital arts and sciences major who is hoping to get into game development, which is very appropriate, I guess, for me being here. I really like pixel art, and yeah, don't know what else to say. And thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
That was great, Diana. I'm Morgan. Diana and I work a lot together on making games and stuff, so that's how I kind of got introduced to all this.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm also a digital arts and sciences major, but I'm also an advertising major, so I know a lot about the kind of data and how to apply it to reach the most amount of people, so that's kind of why I'm in part of this. And I just love making games. I love playing games. So if you have a game you want to be beta tested, message me. I'd love to help out. And if you want your game promoted, I can put it on the Twitter. I'm sorry. I have a cat right now. I keep getting distracted. Yes. So if you want to see pictures of my cat, or you want me to beta test for you, or you just want like my opinion, just let me know. I would love to help out and be a part of your development journey.
I also have cat pictures to provide, so you can reach
also have
out
cat
to either
pictures.
me or Morgan.
I'm allergic to cats. I'll turn those down.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's beta behavior, Michael.
Wow. I guess I'm being tested.
Alright, so finally that leads to me. I'm William, and I'm a DevOps leader for the club. And I joined a month ago, and I'm working on the website and a bit of the Discord bot, as well as like server hosting, making sure that the website doesn't go down randomly, and just doing stuff like that. I'm also a computer science major, and I plan on like learning game dev with all of you guys.
As if he doesn't know more game dev than like all of us combined.
No.
You know, so you know your net code. That's like a one-on-one.
the call. We can't be saying things like that, Michael.
That's true. That's true. Trevor's got his cracked rendering capabilities. That's very true. Angelica isn't verified, but she's able to talk in muted mic. What? Oh, she's able to talk and say hi. Can someone tell Angelica to click the checkbox in the welcome channel? She needs to.
We gotta get her in.
Sorry. All right. Yeah. No. So that's the team.
Moving on.
We all yes. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about how GDA works, again, mainly for the new members, the education, fun and career prospects, workshops, democracy, a little bit about our ongoing projects, and a little bit about our plans for the future. And then I'm going to wrap it up with a very quick introduction to what exactly game development is. For those of you that have no idea what game development looks like, I guess at a semi-professional level, like I'm using a game engine. For those of you that are here and have no clue what's going on, this should hopefully give you like a quick taste of what game dev can be. All right, so yeah.
Get started with education. So a lot of you are in this club not because you want to learn. However, you're still going to learn anyways, because there's plenty of transferable skills that you can pick up from practicing game dev that you can apply into various other majors and careers. For the programmers out there, you can learn your programming languages, C# and C++, which are pretty similar to Java if you've taken or are taking Programming 1. So don't be intimidated by the fact that they're different, and what you learn while writing those languages can lead you on into other greater things down the road. Additionally, version control and working with a team of programmers is another skill you'll pick up that you're going to use in your careers later on. For the artists out there, for the digital arts and sciences majors, all sorts of graphics. I'm not that kind of major, so I don't really go into the details, but all sorts of graphics, I'm told. 2D and 3D animation, graphic design, user interface and experience, all of those are going to be skills you're going to learn while trying to make your game that you develop as good as possible, and you can apply that to other fields and careers farther down the road. So what kind of opportunities do we have for education? We have workshops. We have member-hosted workshops that cover panels of members talking about information they know and answering questions. We've got presentations. We have projects that people share on the Discord server. We also have a repository, past recordings that Michael's recorded, where he has gone over the topics you see listed in front of you and give you a bit of an introduction to how they work and what the process is for using those. Additionally, we have a number of resources here on the Discord that you can use anytime to get help. We have the advice and help where you can ask very specific questions that you can't seem to find the answer to online. We have the resources channel, which has a good collection of resources. We've got hashtag show off, which is where you can show off the work that you've completed or are working on, just for bragging rights, but also to get critique and input. We have game jams. We're going to run a game jam this semester, at least one. And we also have the club-wide game, Super Florida Man. The topics that we'll focus on this semester in those workshops that I mentioned earlier are the ones that have the highest sort of interest from our members for from the poll that we gathered at the beginning of the semester. So you can see right here, the 7 topics are the ones we're going to be focusing on and catering our workshop topics to. So that's what you can look forward to in meetings and GBMs later on in the semester.
All right, so they had to give me, the most technically inept guy, something to talk about, right? So we're going to talk about the fun that we have, because God knows I love to have a lot of fun on the server. One of the biggest things that we do is we have game nights. This semester we had 2 in the last semester, and we're planning on doing 2 more. These game nights cover, some things. We have a little bit of something for everybody. If you're competitive, we have a competitive game night where we do tournaments. You can see there's a bracket that's Michael is circling a lot right now. That was for our Splitgate tournament, or it was either Splitgate or Smash. I don't remember which one it was. But we had brackets for both. And so we competed and such. We also had a Hunger Games night, which Michael's circling again, and that is a clip of me dying in brutal fashion in the Hunger Games. I didn't make it.
From my perspective.
Yeah, it just had to be put in there. And these are some other games that we also played. We played Terraria, Unturned. Some people played Rocket League. Michael's cracked at Rocket League.
I lost to my. We had my friend. You can bring your friends on here. They're not part of the club or whatever. That doesn't. What does it mean to be part of this club? Invite them to the Discord, and they can play in the game nights. I had to give a T-shirt to Sahaj after he absolutely destroyed me in the losers bracket of Rocket League. He came back. God. So, anyways,
I was there. Michael was sweating. And we have a game jam, like Nathan mentioned earlier. We're gonna have a game jam. We had one last semester. We plan on continuing that tradition. Another one this semester. We have a little bit of a different take on this game jam. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So more information coming later. And then we have an end of semester celebration. The picture you see on your screen was the one that we did in December. Yep, that's me. That's Nathan. And that's everybody else who came. We just kind of co-opted some tables near the Rights Union, and we just put a bunch of food on it, and we just talked for like 4 hours into the night. It was great. We're gonna have that again at the end of this semester, so look out for that. A nice little way to celebrate everybody's accomplishments.
Indeed. I think this is where Hannah would have talked, but I suppose we could take over this. I'll just So career. What do we do for career? A lot. You know what? The statistics right now show that everyone is here on average for a perfect balance of career and game development. Like it's like right in the middle, right? We ran a poll. It was 1 to 7. The mean is 3.5. Or it's actually 3.4. So you're closer to fun. Fun was 1. 7 was like career orientation. But career. What does that mean? So last semester we brought in 2 guest speakers. Both of them, actually specifically Colin Davidson over here, actually mentioned to me prior that he was interested in like getting us getting some kids like internships if they wanted them, or like to try to network with people. So that was cool. I don't think that ended up happening, but they're actually still on our Discord server. They're there right now. You could at Colin Davidson on Discord right now. Please don't, unless you have something to say to him. But yeah, these 2 guys are incredible. So we brought them in, and we do a lot of other things for career as well. Colin Davidson had several years of experience at all of these studios. This is a slow scroll of his LinkedIn. We're talking, no, don't you dare, Andre. We're talking like Bingo Story, the top grossing app on the App Store. He was a senior project manager for Spyro, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare. He was a development manager under contract for Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, FIFA, NHL. He was Civ 6, Mortal Kombat. He's crazy. And then over here, Chris Bell is the senior, like, I think he was like the lead designer for Journey. You guys might have seen this as an app or as a game. And Sky, Children of the Light, both very successful games that have won numerous awards. He is a UF grad. Colin is someone I happen to know, and Hannah got us in touch with Chris Bell. So, indeed, we're not just nerds, we're hireable nerds. We have guest speakers, we have the professional contacts on the Discord, a number of, like, we do have a couple of game studios in here that hang out, and their lead devs are hanging around. Opportunities show up in external. but I think the most valuable thing to you is portfolio opportunities. We have a club-wide project right now called Super Florida Man that a lot of us are working on. It's a place to learn new skills. We have a game jam every semester that our club hosts, in addition to formally participating in the Gator Game Jam, which I think is every summer, hosted by the University of Florida for all of Digital Worlds. Of course, ours is open to everyone too, but yeah. And then we also give you the opportunity to give a workshop. If you think that you have a workshop that you can give that is relevant to some of those topics, we'll likely open the table to you. You could reach out to us if you have a skill that you would really like to share, or something that you would like to cover. Speaking of Florida Man, ongoing projects. So we do have the game, right? Right now this club is working on a few different projects. Our game, which is ongoing, that's Super Florida Man down here. Our bot, which is almost functional. I need to fix a couple of glitches on it. And our site, which I'm working on a bit of the front end. William's doing tons of back end. He's doing back end for the bot. He's doing AWS setup. William's carrying that. So a little bit of a sneak peek of some UI elements. Here's Florida Man down here, based on art from Catherine and I believe Lay, or was it Zen? I never think it was Lay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's Zen and Kath. Yeah. My bad. I'm sorry. And then we also have I believe this is the back end of the website, organized with dependencies, front end and back end. And here's our bot right now with a graphic from Hannah. Lots of ongoing work. Glorious democracy, a little bit of democracy. So it's very important to me that everyone is aware of this. This club, yes, we do have like this little leadership team composed of myself, Tony, Hannah, Nathan, Diana, Morgan, William. Yes, we do like lead, but we don't really necessarily take too many initiatives that impact the Discord or necessarily the direction of the club without first having voiced them in some capacity and suggestions. And we want you to also feel free to publicly voice any ideas for the direction of the club in our suggestions channel. That's under miscellaneous on Discord. In there, you write your little proposal, you add a checkbox and an X and a discussion thread. And people tend to discuss whatever is proposed and they vote on it. And anytime we see a nice positive ratio that's like, 5 to 1 or 3 to 1 or something, we pass the suggestion no matter what. Even if we don't necessarily agree with it, it passes. We've had a lot. Here's Super Florida Man. This is how it started. Here's game night. We were voting on like what to make the poll about. An emoji, a renaming a channel, another emoji that did pass. So democracy. And then finally, right, what's up with this semester? So the things that we're doing differently this semester, for those of you that were back here last semester, we are doing more seasonally themed events that's based on the suggestion. There will be a Valentine's Day workshop where I cover how to make an augmented reality card for your significant other. You'll see something that looks kind of like that in a later slide. Pending, we might do some April Fool's related thing or a St. Patrick's Day related thing for a workshop. We are expanding into US high schools. This is a really big one. So this is what Tony hinted at. So what is that? There's high schools in the United States that don't have game development clubs, and we think that they're missing out. A while ago when I was in high school, we started an initiative that was sponsored by MIT called LaunchX Clubs. And we're trying to now emulate what MIT sort of did, which is you give these high schools an opportunity to use our documentation, grab a mentor from our club, so we'll have mentorship positions open, and help create a branch of GDA that is sponsored by a high school and exists in a high school. So it's like led by high schoolers, but they have access to someone from this club that they can, DM if they need to, and that person oversees their Discord, and perhaps they use our Discord bot. University high school needs a guy. I don't know what you're talking about, Andre. But I think it's a win-win for a lot of people involved. For administrators, this is a bit of a growth opportunity for the high school in that it's connecting to UF, which is now a somewhat prestigious university, right? We're doing pretty well for ourselves. They get a mentor from us for free. Additionally, they get like the education value. Kids love game development. I started a club in my high school. I know a lot of high schools do have game development clubs, and they could use more resources. So that is valuable. And then finally, to our mentors that will have positions open for, it's an opportunity for you to say, yeah, I helped run like 3 different high schools by like, just providing like help to these kids. I taught them game development. I'm sure that looks wonderful on a resume. So bit of a win-win for everyone involved. And then finally, oh yeah, if you come from a high school that you think you could use a game development club, please talk to us. If you come from a high school that already has one, talk to us. Just tell us, like, if you think your high school could use a game dev club. We will reach out and get in contact with them. Finally, the website and the bot are coming along. The show-off system back in the day had a pinned spreadsheet with a massive effort to collect the points that people are gaining. So every time you post on show-off, you get a point. Points counted towards rewards. It was a very exciting time for the club. We experienced some massive growth back then. And it's still a core system of this club, but it's certainly not, perhaps not as active as it used to be, or as core of a system. With our bot and the automation that will provide, you should see that again soon enough. And then our website will have more educational resources on it, probably by the end of summer. That's what we're looking at right now. So. Yeah, that's the club. So before I begin the little any % world record run, do we have questions? Do people want to like talk? Anything? You made the moral choice. How much, bro? UCF. There's a conversation about UCF happening in the chat right now.
Yeah, Andres was offered. Apparently, he's saying vast sums of money to go to UCF, and he still turned them down. And I just have to congratulate him on that decision, because that was probably the best decision he's made since he joined this club.
I see.
I know his decision worked great for me.
Yeah. Oh, who asked? Was that Brian?
That was me. Is Brian.
It's Brian. Hello, Brian.
Yeah.
What's up?
I kind of mentioned this in yesterday's meeting, but I think it would just be more appropriate if I also like sort of asked it again in this meeting, and that's about Beginner Accelerator. You said something about how we're going to have like workshops for game development.
We sure are.
So in a way, there will be like educational opportunities in workshops for absolute beginners.
Indeed. So, well, yes. Seeing as the distribution of our experienced and inexperienced members this semester is pretty spread, but the average is higher than last semester. It's right in the middle and higher. So people feel more confident in their game dev abilities. As such, when we do eventually have these workshops, you saw the stats earlier in the PowerPoint. Our highest voted topic by far at 4.7 out of 7 was game programming. People really want to learn game programming, which is it can be covered in a beginner-friendly way. But yeah, I suppose that will remain somewhat beginner-friendly. Yeah, absolutely. The Beginner Accelerator served I'm sorry?
Continue.
So the Beginner Accelerator was a really cool thing. I would run weekly lectures in addition to our main meetings, and make an attempt to record them. I failed 2 out of 7 times, but who's counting? And so at Beginner Accelerator, I covered topics from a completely beginner perspective. Mainly topics focused on creating assets for Unreal Engine, a little bit about programming, a little bit about shader programming. Those are recorded. They are available in our resources channel, as was mentioned earlier. So pinned in resources, you can see the pin to the YouTube playlist. That is part of our YouTube channel, which is now run by Diana. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, that's you can find that in there. If you guys, if a lot of beginners in here think that the Beginner Accelerator project should start again, and you want those weekly lectures, make a post about it in suggestions. The reason that it stopped after the 7th session was because we were running out of concepts to cover, and it was extremely high effort for me. Even though it's a little 2-hour meeting where I actually cover a whole subject in depth, whether that's 3D modeling or creating textures, and I try to do my best to cover it thoroughly. But making those PowerPoints takes another 2 hours on top of the 2-hour meeting, and on top of that, I help run this club, right? Tony and I make announcements. William and I program stuff. So there's a lot of work there to be done, it's a high effort thing for me to do. So if you really want it, there has to be a lot of interest. If there's a lot of interest, I will do my best, and we'll look into our options. But
I should also say that we're willing to outsource as well. Like, for
Yes.
example, if anyone in here feels qualified enough to teach a topic, and you would want to teach a topic if you see a bunch of people asking questions about it, like maybe it's something that us admins, or at least Michael's not qualified in, which like say would be like 2D sprite and pixel art. That's something that Michael's not particularly well versed in.
netcode.
And so if you wanted to give a workshop on that catering to beginners, then we would help you with that. We'd help you set up and organize the workshop and make an announcement for it. So if you wanted to revive Beginner Accelerator by giving your own workshops, that'd also be an option. So
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell like you have a lot on your plate, Michael, and I am a bit hesitant to say that I want Beginner Accelerator again because it feels like a kind of selfish thing to do when you have so much on your plate.
I think the best vote is a selfish vote. Put in the vote on suggestions. Start a vote, and if people really want it, like it should be a somewhat selfish thing. Now resource allocation is the second step. Like if you want it to happen, say that you want it to happen, and then after that, like if there really is enough interest, we can look into how we can allocate resources for that. It might not take the same form that it used to have. It might be a different format. You don't have to learn everything from this club. We can help organize resources for you, which is what we're already sort of working to do with the website. So yeah.
Okay, I do like the idea of there being a beginner accelerator where it's not just you presenting, but other people also sort of sharing their skills.
Yup.
In their own, I guess, workshops.
I absolutely agree,
videos,
Brian.
Lectures.
It's a conversation to have in suggestions. We'll talk about that. Like again, just make the suggestion. Just write up a little sentence or paragraph about what it is that you think would be a good idea, and start a thread, and we'll discuss in there.
All right.
But yeah.
All right, and I am still glad though that even if that doesn't become a thing, we still have at least some beginner-friendly workshops that will satisfy me.
Absolutely. What I'm about to do right here, this whole what is game dev, is arguably a beginner friendly. Not really a workshop because there's no expectation that you follow along, but I'm going to do my best to speed through it real quick.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Anything related to the club? Any curiosities? You can talk. Could you talk more about the upcoming website? And for example, if I could assist with working on it, as I have web development skills. Now, a lot of people approached me with this exact same question at the beginning of last semester, and I said to all of them, yes, you absolutely can work on it, reach out to me. And of the 9 or 10 people, I think, that came up to me were like, I have web development abilities, I'd love to work with you. 2 of them reached out again, right? So it's about taking initiative. And then of the 2 people that reached out again, we worked a little bit, but admittedly, I myself, web development wasn't my strong suit at all. And then William came along, and William asked for access to the repository, and I got him access, and we started discussing stuff, and he was actually extremely attentive. And now, literally, a month after him really starting to sink his teeth into it, everything started moving super quickly. We migrated the bot to TypeScript. Our website runs on React and runs on Next.js as a front end and back end. We've got AWS, Docker containers, and GitHub automation for those Docker containers, and then sending stuff off to AWS, I believe. That's William's strong suit. But he's been teaching me so much, and I couldn't be more thankful for him. I don't know if right now we're in the position to accept other people onto that team, but if you I don't think we're in the position to do that right now. We don't need that yet. But I appreciate the offer. You'll see what comes with the website in due time. I'm sorry, Abe. Perhaps we could talk more after this meeting. But yeah, I don't know if we're in that position. That's something I'd have to discuss with William and the others. And yeah. Zen says she would love to attend a pixel art workshop, or I would host it myself. But to be honest, I need to practice it more. Yeah, if anyone like Zen or anyone at all would like to set up a workshop, by all means. We want to target those skills that people want to learn based on our form and our statistics. So, pixel arts. I apologize. Zen, the moment that I said I stopped. I'm sorry. It fired off in my brain. I'm sorry about that, Zen. Yes. Sorry. My bad. Regarding workshops, please feel free to host them. We'll talk about. Just reach out to us. Reach out to us with what it is that you want to host. Again, the subjects of interest are saw them right here. It's primarily game programming for multiplayer, and working in groups and teams. If you want to learn working in groups and teams, come to Super Florida Man. Do our game jams. If you want to learn these two, we'll probably run workshops on them. And as for the rest of these, we might run those too. Pixel art, has a slightly above average right here. So, but high deviation, right? So not like people were insignificantly above average. It's maybe not. Yeah, that's why I ran the significance tests. Sorry, what else? We have an Instagram, we have a Twitter, yes, we have a YouTube, yes, okay, yeah, I think we can move along. We've already got the Beginner Accelerator Remastered. Please, those videos were fantastic. Thank you, TryRight. But TryRight's in here. It's good to have you, Paolo. Okay, what is game dev? Any percent world record run. Here we go. I'll get started with this, and then we'll have more time for questions at the end. General flow. What is game dev? Real quick, for all you beginners. Game dev usually involves the combination of art and code inside of a game engine to produce a game. The game is being that executable file that the game engine spits out at the end. And sometimes the game engine helps with a server, sometimes that's someone else doing it. This right here is an example of the augmented reality sort of model that you could put in a Valentine's Day or birthday card or something. This is art, right? So a diverse subject. Art's a very diverse subject. There's a lot that goes into game development art. We're talking music, we're talking 3D modeling. Hannah's back, let's go! Woo! Oh man. Yeah, Hannah, we'll probably let Hannah introduce herself actually if you'd like to. Is she in the call?
Yeah.
She is. Hello.
Hey, sorry guys. My name's Hannah. I'm the social chair, or new head of the marketing team. We have, as Michael was talking about, an Instagram, a Twitter. I think we're thinking about putting up a LinkedIn, but yeah, all things social media. Follow us on Instagram at UFGDA. Shameless plug, but yeah, so sorry for being late, Michael.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're so fine. It's okay. It's all right. It literally happens. You're so okay.
I forgot. What major are you?
Oh, okay. So I was graphic design, but now I'm a general arts major. I switched my major last semester, so I'll be graduating earlier. So I won't be in this position as of next year, but yeah, art major.
Yeah, dang, losing a. That's all right. That's all right. We got it for another year. All right. So yeah, back to what game development is. You make art, right? So art, really diverse subject. Art is a type of asset. What are assets? Assets are like any sort of data that goes into a game. Whether that's code or art, it varies. But 3D models, sound files, 2D images, these are all examples of assets. Assets start with software, at least art assets typically do. Software that is external to the game engine. So we're talking software like Blender to make 3D models, Fruity Loop Studio to make music, Krita to do painting in 2D, Substance Painter to do 3D painting, Designer, which is a different program by Substance, and then, by Allegorithmic, and then SpeedTree. Like, there's a lot of software out there that goes into the art side of games, and you don't have to learn all of it. There's some core ones, you know, if you want to make props for a game, Blender and Substance Painter are like the two that you would probably really want to learn. If you want to make 2D art, whether that's like pixel art, I don't know if Krita's great for pixel art, but 2D animation perhaps, Krita's the place. You want to make foliage, SpeedTree. SpeedTree falls into the prop category, I guess. But my point is that there's a lot of diverse software for different applications in game development, art. But at the end of the day, you make art with these. So the list really goes on. Here's an example of making a 3D model in Blender. This is like a really quick speed run of making a little jet engine strapped to wings here. Look at this. It looks kind of like a jet engine. Here we go. We're gonna extrude the top here. A little pre-recorded GIF. Extrude it again. Got these wings coming out. Bam! Just like that. We've got flatten the wings, drag them back. Jet engine plane thing. Cool. Sick. So we are here. We've made the art. We got a 3D model. 3D models typically come in this FBX format. I'm only giving this to you, like, this isn't like a take notes kind of moment, but I'm going into the details to hopefully give you a really tangible feel for what it's like to work with game development. You start in a program like Blender, you do that quick task of 3D modeling something, and then you output it as an FBX file, and you drag and drop it into a game engine. What are game engines? If you don't know what game engines are, game engines bring together code and art. They can help you make art. So some of them have features built in, like landscape stuff that let you like paint big landscapes and place foliage and stuff. And you can do design work. So game engines allow you to assemble levels, level design, right? A little bit of gameplay programming. Oftentimes, game engines provide, almost universally, they provide a renderer. Renderers are just, a render is a fancy word for the thing that takes the 3D environment that you've built and lets your computer see it, right? Lets you output an image to the screen based on the data of that 3D world. So you never actually have to like touch that stuff if you're working in Unreal Engine or Unity. They just sort of happen. The physics engine. They also provide physics engines usually. What's a physics engine? It does physics calculations. So you can take a cube in your world and drop it, and it'll know to fall, and then spin around when it hits something based on where it touched the object and how much torque was applied. Like, yeah, and sometimes they provide additional structure, like scripts in Unity and the ability to assign them to objects, and Unreal Engine has all this like blueprint stuff, and maybe the sequencer. These are examples of additional structure. Game engines are giant all-in-one tools that let you put together a game. They are the software in which you make that game. You take assets like art, assets, and you take code, and you combine them, and you put them in the world, and the game engine lets you push a button and spit out an exe file. There's an important poll that just came up in the chat, and I had to react. I'm a big Unreal Engine fan. So real quick, this tutorial is just, not tutorial really, but just speed run here to give you a taste. This is how easy it is to make an Unreal Engine project. Same thing in Unity. You push like a couple of buttons, and you make a Unity project. And it brings you to this blank interface. And then what you do is you import a file. So here's me importing that jet file. I just dragged it in, and it creates this. And this is what it looks like in Unreal Engine. Yes, this lecture is recorded, try right. And it just imports the file into the engine. It's that easy. Now this is a slightly more detailed variation of that file that we whipped up in Blender a second ago, but just showing you that. So now we've gotten the art imported into Unreal Engine with that 3D model. Unreal Engine offers a billion tools, just like Unity. Unity's the same. Unreal Engine also offers blueprint visual scripting. Blueprint visual scripting is just like the ability to write code without writing code. You can drag and drop blocks that are like one-to-one, like API calls in C++. They're not that different. It's like just calling the Unreal Engine API. Yeah, they represent different functions of Unreal Engine. So let's work with Blueprint real quick. It's that easy. You right click, you make a new actor. We're gonna call it My Airplane. What are blueprints? This is just a general game dev concept, real quick. Classes is what you would call them, really, in object-oriented programming. They store things. They store like your 3D model and maybe a particle system and a collider. They're like a little package of the different core bits that work together. You might have a class for a barrel, or for a car, or for a shopping cart, or a house. And then they contain code that describes the behavior. Like when I push W, it'll move upwards. Or when I run into it and press E, the door will open. That's what a class is. That's what a blueprint is. They group things conveniently. 4 walls, ceiling, and a floor. Good enough for science. I don't know if anyone's a Portal 2 fan. It's a little reference to the Cave Johnson promotionals. Can we not keep roasting Unreal? So let's program our jet class real quick, super quick. We go into the blueprint class that we just created. We add a static mesh, a spring arm, and a camera. Then we add a tiny bit of code, right? This is the blueprint thing in Unreal Engine. So we say every tick, which is 60 frames a second roughly, apply this force along the forward vector. So forward vector times the value, that's the force on our static mesh, which is our aircraft. And then we get this effect, an aircraft that accelerates in Unreal Engine. There it goes, it's flying off. Cool. And then we add a little bit more for spinning. We say when our mouse moves to the right, add torque. When our mouse moves up, add torque. What direction do we add the torque in? Clockwise around either the forward vector or clockwise around the right vector so that it goes up and down, right? Because if we have an arrow pointing to the right and we go clockwise around it, I would go up, down, and that's it. That's literally it. And now we can fly in Unreal Engine. Now I'm controlling this, I recorded this little GIF. So here's that. Cool. So,
we have a question in chat.
Do we have a question in chat? The car class.
Paul asked about the car class, and so I guess the question would be, in general, what does the class actually contain? Does it contain the assets? Does it contain the code? Does it contain like related features or objects?
I'm not using the most formal terminology here, I suppose, but yeah, a car. Let's call it a car object. William always has wonderful answers to these. A car object is like a copy of that class that has been created in the world. So it's a class when it doesn't exist yet, but you've a class is like a template. Yeah. And then you instantiate that class in the world. And so the world, you spawn an object of type car, and that object has all of the properties of a car. So it would have it would contain the 3D model of the car. It would contain the 3D models of the tires, and it would probably also contain some logic that says when I press W, drive forward, and maybe have this coefficient of friction with the ground, so that if you drift, it'll slide or something if you turn left or right. But yeah, an instance or an object is the physical manifestation of a class in the world of the game, as Jeremy just put it very eloquently. That's what that is. Does that make sense? Try right. You got it right. Honestly, it's a group of all the components of a car. So it has a car body. It has a tire and another tire and 2 more tires. It has a sound effect thing coming off of its back so that sounds shoot out the back. And then it has the code that describes how those interact with the environment and with each other. Yep. That's game dev. That's literally game dev, guys. We in the span of a few seconds, we took a 3D model, we put it in Unreal Engine. We gave it just a tiny bit of scripting that says when I move my mouse, turn, and when I and constantly apply a forward velocity, and now we can fly. And it's just that simple to achieve the basics in a game engine. Wouldn't be that much harder or easier in Unity. Great, we answered the question, what is game dev in the first meeting? Now this server will implode. What? Mission accomplished. That's game dev, and that's honestly that's the first meeting. We got 13 minutes left. That's what we got for you today. A quick taste of what game dev is and an introduction to the club. We want to answer any and all questions that you have right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
While we wait, then just immediately ask one. So, what you just explained right now for game dev, okay? I imagine though, I imagine it being like a lot slower, like
yes.
a lot slower. You guiding through the individual steps, but would this be sort of like how a workshop would go?
Yes, a workshop would be much slower. In a workshop, you know what? If you'd like, I can show you some of our past workshop sessions, and you can get a taste of what those look like. We certainly have a lot of workshops in the past that we did. Let's look at what was that? What year were we just now? Fall 2021. That's right. Well, you know what? Tell you what. Our workshops this semester are going to be, I think, a little more similar to Beginner Accelerator last semester, in that I have a feeling they're going to be more concentrated. Like last semester, we did a lot of panels and things, where we sat down and talked a lot after covering the agenda, and it was like really brief, but people were talking in person, and answering questions. Again, yeah, we had a couple of panel GBMs. Let me look at our Beginner Accelerator. Archive, Beginner Accelerator. Here's a PowerPoint from that. A lot of those PowerPoints are over on my personal drive because they're from my high school back when I ran that club. So yeah. Why are we covering Unreal? Hop in. We're gonna find out who asked. UE4 programming. So Unreal, what it do, how it do, and we like carefully explained. Blah blah blah, programming, what are actors, you know, very very slow and meticulous like PowerPoint where we do explain in a lot of depth. This must be a giant GIF. It is a giant GIF. Yeah. The GIFs take a second to load, and then I presumably cut off here and start doing my own stuff in Unreal Engine.
Okay. It looks really cool. I'm sorry that I keep bringing this topic up. It's just that I feel I just really want to learn from this club. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm just so invested in like this.
No, you're good, Brian. You're asking good questions. I'm sure they're questions other people have. Like when I say Beginner Accelerator, half of the people in this call probably don't know exactly what I'm referring to, and that's good. I'm glad that we were able to quickly go back to that. Honestly, if you look at these videos, it's like an hour 45. Here's a 2-hour video. You can see I very slowly move through a PowerPoint, and then I go back and forth to Unreal Engine to actually do what I'm talking about in the PowerPoint, and I explain like what I'm doing. Like if I was covering 3D modeling right now, I'd be like, all right guys, here's Blender, and then, you know, I'd actually very slowly explain what I'm doing when I make one of those little like jet engine aircraft. But yeah, like so yeah, Beginner Accelerator is much slower than a little any percent speedrun. But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? What else can we answer for you today?
I also want to say that for all the new people here, it would be cool and also very personal if people who have Discord names that aren't related to their actual name in real life, if you could add your actual name in there, like in parentheses, like what who would be an example of Andy's in this, where he's appended his real name with his Discord name, or if you just want to replace your whole name in Discord with your actual in-person name. That makes it great for us admins to be able to recognize people when we see you guys at meetings in real life. Because I can't tell you how many times last semester someone walked up to me and was like, "Oh hey, you're Nathan from the Game Dev Club," and I'm like, "Who is this stranger? I've never seen you before." And then they would say, "Oh yeah, I'm Alex G from the Game Dev Club." "Oh, Alex, that's right. Yeah, I've seen you around." So
as opposed to like, I don't know, the fascist hazelnut, which kind of stuck with Julian for a while, or perhaps
so, yeah.
like like a long stream of letters and numbers doesn't really help us understand who you are.
Yeah, hashtag underscore 03419. Oh yeah, I know you from the Discord. Yeah, what a mouthful. Yeah. So
we do not. Okay, first of all, the chat has actually been on the stream this entire time. But second of all, we don't have a /nickname bot. No, we would love it if everyone could at least include their real name in parentheses next to their preferred nickname. That would help. Like just your first name or something, whatever you prefer to be called. It really helps us. Another thing, in our announcements, there was a Google form just a little while back. Right here, the Zuckering to GDA census. I think most of you already filled that out. That's where we gathered our statistics from. It's where we set our meeting date, right? Because in here we had a when to meet, and that when to meet tells us when it is that we are going to meet as a club. It's very helpful for us if you fill this out. So if you haven't filled it out, please do fill it out. Yeah, that's pretty critical. Let's look at the suggestions channel. Beginner Accelerator remastered, please. Those videos were fantastic. Bring it back. Says Paolo. And there's a thread. So if you guys want Beginner Accelerator to come back, and I cover more things that weren't covered, please just respond in this thread. If you have other unique suggestions, respond down here. We have a massive slow mode to disincentivize dialogue. This isn't really a place for dialogue. There's a somewhat important poll here regarding how fluffy our announcements are and what it is that people prefer. This one's pretty important to me and Tony. We really like having announcements that have more character in them. This last one, tons of bullet points, no character. You go up here just a little bit, you see like 2 paragraphs of kind of entertaining character. Fellas, I'm literally sweating, right? It's fluff that wastes your time, but it's also kind of funny.
It's the only thing that brings me joy anymore.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm telling you guys, it's hilarious.
Like, the point is we're trying to pick, we're trying to understand what it is that people prefer in our announcements so that we know that people are reading them but getting enough value out of them and actually enjoying them.
We're just failed English majors, honestly. Just
right. I don't think there's anything else necessarily. Yeah, Beginner Accelerator back here. Good lord, that was always a very, very good time. This was my favorite lecture. If there's one Beginner Accelerator video worth watching, it's the shaders and materials 0 to hero. That was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Michael does just remake the same airplane.
Wait a minute. Nick is punching the air right now, Hannah. Who's Nick? He didn't even save the airplane.
Who is Nick?
No. No one asks how Nick is, and you're laughing for shame. Anything else? Do we have anything else that anyone would like to ask us in these
I think right now you guys we've run out of content that we plan to do all Q&A time right now. So if you have somewhere else to be, or you're hungry, or you don't want to sit and listen to us ramble anymore, you guys are all free to go.
Yes, indeed.
Stick around on the Discord. Go check out #showoff and see what other people posted this semester.
Check out Super Florida Man if you're interested. It's not too late to join. We're kind of in the process of migrating.
On your way.
Yes, indeed.
Alright, yeah.
Got a lot going on in there. Oh, look at that. There's the last club-wide game as my desktop background. Good times.
Oh, man, that's so good.
More like club-wide design document, really.
Okay, alright.
It was so good.
I'll open our Super Florida Man real quick if anyone wants to see what that looks like.
That design document is worthy of a doctorate in game design.
It was a very good time. It was a very, very good time.
I felt like the founding fathers just arguing, writing, making whole presentations over minuscule topics.
The smallest detail. No, the ammo should be universal for every gun. I'm telling you guys, we need 17 different ammo types. An armor piercing variant. No,
That's a good time. Yeah. The Super Florida Man, where we are a bucket and the balloons go to. The balloons get deleted when you touch them after spazzing out, but we're working on it. It's a very it's an ongoing project. Lots of work. Lots of good work's been done in here already. Yup. Indeed. thank you everyone for coming to our first meeting. Seriously, absolute pleasure to have you here. Link to ClickUp. Abe, I think we invited you via email after you filled out the form. If you want a link to it, we cannot provide you a link to it. ClickUp doesn't have invite links, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Oh wait, no, that was earlier. I'm sorry. We already answered that. I'm sorry about that. If you're into buckets, that's a terrible balloon to be honest. Wow, Morgan. Wow. that's actually.
Oh, that's I think the running gag is that Julian has possessed Morgan's account.
Julian is a parasite. He's using Morgan's body to write horrible messages.
It's a shame we can't have Julian here in the flesh in his voice chat. Because he's quite
Guys,
a
I need help. I need help.
No,
He's
not.
taking control of my PC and keeps breaking it. I'm not even joking. He keeps jamming on the keyboard and breaking everything.
I see.
Show him a clip of The Last of Us Part 2. That'll drive him away.
Garbage, Tony.
All right. Have a good afternoon, everybody. We'll see you again next week when we have our first game night. There will be a poll up for that very soon regarding what exactly we're going to play. It is going to be online. Want to emphasize future meetings will be in person at the Rights Union, most likely. We're waiting for this Omicron spike to pass, which in another week or so should be trailing, and we'll all have an opportunity to meet each other in person.
Again, we thought it was trailing like a year ago, so we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah, I mean it's done the same thing in like North Africa. Like we'll just have the same. We should be fine. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go down real quick. We're all gonna get it. And it's gonna be fine. But no, I mean optimally we should avoid getting it. So just being somewhat cautious. Yep. Hope that was a good one, guys. Take care, everybody, and welcome to GDA. We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, the next one. See you guys.
Bye-bye.